This recording is to show you how to use Wevideo to record your commercial for your radio commercial for your food truck. So you should have already gone through the assignment and created your script for your commercial. So looking at the assignment instructions right here, you can see that I've got an example already typed up, which I'm going to use for this example. You at the next page should fill this information out to create your commercial script. You should use the same format that I used for the example. Any sound effects that you plan to add to it, you should have in red. So below that template, you're going to see a link to the Wevideo program that I would like for you to use. And to get to it, you're just going to click and go to the app. And I'm already signed in, but when you get there, I'm actually going to sign out so you can see what it looks like when you join. You're just going to click log in and choose log in with Google and choose your school account. And when you get there, it will probably open you up to a page that looks like this, but you won't already have anything added to it. To start recording your script, what I encourage you to do is first practice your script and make sure that you kind of have an idea of how long your script needs to be. Then you're going to come into here and click podcast. When you do that, it's going to open a window that gives you the option to record. And this is just going to record audio, not video. When you click record, it's going to give you a countdown from 3, I think it's from 3 to 0 and start recording. I believe it also then gives you a timer so you know how long your script should be. So it kind of lets you figure out how to pace yourself just a little bit. And to be honest, I would say it probably took me 3 times to get it recorded without making like a blunder or a mistake or saying a word wrong or pausing or something like that. So you might have to do it a couple times. And honestly, in my final recording, I did make a mistake, but it was right at the end. So I just went and recorded that last piece again separately, and I'll show you how you can edit that in your Wevideo. So let's say I recorded them. I've got my 2 recordings here. One of them is 6 seconds long and one of them is 53 seconds long. This is my longer one that I started with. And I believe when you record it, it might even automatically throw it down into your timeline. So if it does that, my second one came in up here under my media. Okay, so I've got my audio clip. To play it, I'm just going to hit spacebar or I can hit the play button here.
Hey, Gina, have you ever had a massive craving for Italian?
Okay, so there you can hear my script. When I got to the end, I know I had a little bit of a blunder, and instead of saying Antonio's for the food truck name, I said Antonia's. So I knew I needed to re-record that, and that's what this clip does. It repeats this last line in the script right here. It's just this part right here. So in my Wevideo, I would come through my timeline and find where I want to cut off the bad part. And I know it's at the end and after a pause.
Antonia's Raviolis food truck on 15.
Yeah, so you can hear that's kind of choppy and I didn't really like it.
Antonia's
So I'm going to set it here and pause it right at that pause. And I can even use my arrow keys to just skip back a couple of milliseconds at a time. When I get it to the place where I want to cut it, I'm going to click the cut, grab that piece that I don't want on there, and hit delete. Now, if I cut it in the wrong spot here, I have the original up top, so I can always pull that back down. So now as I come to the end, I can listen to it.
Bring some home for the whole family.
Perfect. Now I want to bring in that short clip and drop it on the end.
Family. Antonio Ravi.
So there's a little pause where I might want to start playing some music. Right now when I look at this, I am at 53 seconds. So I'm about 7 seconds short. That's a little bit long. So where am I at if I scooch it down a little bit? If I do a little intro music and a little exit music at the end, that might get me there. To be honest, I probably should record this and do a few more pauses. Or if I wanted to find some natural breaks between lines here.
Before we go, you should check their Facebook page or their website.
And I can find exactly where I want to pause it a little longer.
Is my favorite.
So there's a natural pause. I could create a little break and put a couple extra milliseconds in there. Move these 2 over. if I wanted to. So you can do a couple little creative things to change up and add a little more time in between, because I talked kind of fast. All right, so now that I have my timeline started, I wanted to bring in some music and some sound effects. So in my script, I have car sounds and Italian music. When I come to Wevideo, I discovered that when I go up to the music tab and look at free music and free sound effects, they didn't have exactly what I envisioned in my head. And premium music, I wouldn't even look in there. You have to pay for those, so I wouldn't even try them. There aren't a lot of options in the music category, and I couldn't find any Italian, so I'm going to tell you what to do with that in a minute. But first, I maybe want to put my sound effects in the background. I looked under traffic for car noises, and to be honest, I couldn't really find any that I liked because they didn't really have, like, I was envisioning a little bit of car horns, just something to give you that street sound, and I didn't really find that. So I looked through the other things to see if there was something I could find to substitute. And what I found was the sound for a marketplace. It just kind of has the sound of people milling about, some footsteps. It's not super loud, but I also don't want it to be completely distracting. So once I find that, I'm going to go ahead and bring that in and start it where my script starts. And it looks like I maybe didn't quite drop it in the right spot. Maybe I can't add it to, oh, I can't add it to video. That might be why. So if I take video and hide that track, can I drag it down below? Oh, maybe I need to add a track, add an audio track. There we go. Look at that. Now I've got another track that I can put my sound on. Perfect. That works. All right. Drop my audio in there. It's not quite long enough, so I can always bring in 2 of them. Gotta get it to stick. There we go. Now I've got my 2 tracks. If I also want music, I'm going to add another audio track so I can see all 3 of them. And if I want them skinnier, I could also, I think I can make them a little smaller. There we go. I can change them and make them skinnier because I don't need to edit this too much, but I might want to edit my music. So here's my music. I chose happy. I'm going to bring that into the beginning. So it starts with just a little bit of music. And I'm going to have it drop off after it starts. So here's my music volume. I can start loud and drag it down here so it gets quiet. And then maybe I want it to go all the way mute. So I'm dragging it all the way bottom. So these are my little points where I can adjust the volume level. And then at the end of my sound track, so this is where I have my little closing statement. I want it to start picking up just before that, get a little bit louder, and I probably want to cut the music off at the end of my 60 seconds. So there might be a little bit of music there at the end. This might be a little bit too much. So to be honest, I probably should record it and pause a little bit more throughout. I can maybe give a little more pause in between these 2. Just not too much. Okay, and this one I should also cut off at my 1 minute. So I'm going to trim off the end here, hit delete, and give it a play and see how we did.
Hey, Gina, have you ever had a massive craving for Italian?
Will the sound drop
Well,
off?
Frank, I have. And actually, I've been craving lasagna lately. You know, we should go to Antonio Ravioli's food truck on the corner of 15th and 9th.
So to do this right, I should have probably gotten a friend to come in and record the other audio because there's 2 people in this script. And to be honest, I'm not very good at changing my voice to sound like 2 different people. So I can absolutely have a friend do the other half of this script with me.
It serves up awesome Italian food, just like Mama used to make, without the extra help and guilt. And they're super fast. That's an awesome idea. Just like Mama, the folks at Antonio's are always happy to see you.
Now I also noticed these footsteps right here. You can see in this track, the footsteps get a little bit louder. If I wanted to, I could drop that audio a little bit right where the footsteps are and pop it back up so that they're not as loud.
It's an awesome idea. Just like Mama, the folks at Antonio's are always happy to see you. You know what? Let's go now. I heard heard they have a special on lasagna.
Okay, skip to the end. You don't need to
You'll
listen to
have
the whole
bring
thing.
some home for the whole family.
Hear the music start coming in.
Antonio Ravioli's food truck on 15th and 9th, just like Mama used to make.
All right, now I didn't think it got loud enough fast enough, so I could always just tweak and modify these a little bit to get it exactly how you want. And once you get it where you want, then you need to export it to get it to me. Here's how you finish up your project. You're going to click Finish. One or more tracks are hidden. That's okay. I don't need the hidden tracks, so I'm going to click Continue. Select a title for my podcast to export, and you're going to use your class period and radio ad. And click Set. Then you're going to choose to export the audio only to your Google Drive and click Export. Now it takes a little bit of time for this to queue, so you might take a little break and walk away. It did take some time to do. I would encourage you, if you're doing this at home, to do it at a time when not a lot of other people are using the internet when you export your files. Oh, it looks like mine went okay. I could also download it if I want to make sure that I've got a copy of it. Now I know that I've got it in my drive and I've got it downloaded, and I can go to either of those two locations to submit it to Google Classroom. And that is how you use Wevideo to edit your podcast.